Well, hello, church. This is Pastor Steve Kelly on this Friday, and I want to begin by reading a passage of Scripture from the book of Ecclesiastes today. It says in Ecclesiastes 3:1, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven." And then Solomon proceeds to give a bunch of different things. He says a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot. And then he makes this concluding statement: He has made everything beautiful in its time. And the reason I begin today by sharing this is because we've come to a time to stop doing these videos. And why have we come to that time? Well, we're meeting again, and that meeting will continue to expand such that this coming week we will add our Wednesday activities again, and then next Sunday we will be adding back our Sunday night service. So with the exception of Sunday school here on the campus, we'll be adding back everything. So the season of doing videos has come to an end, and this will be the last one that I do for this season. The first one of those was March the 18th. You might recall that we had service on March the 15th, and then things started to change. The governor started making pronouncements, and as a result, we stopped having services on March the 18th. I stood right here, and that is the reason I'm here today. We had the first video explaining that we were going to be ceasing to have services in the building. So 2 months plus have passed, and this season has now come to an end. Now, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing the videos and posting them on the internet so that you could watch them, because I think there's a lot of good that comes from that. But that season has come to an end, and if we need to get back to it, we certainly will. But I want to give you a handful of things that I've learned from this time of doing these videos and sharing them with you that I think have been beneficial, but also some things we need to understand in terms of the limitations of doing these weekly videos. First thing I want to say is this: videos are easy. As I stand right here, I'm in my office, I have my phone in front of me, I have the camera where it's facing toward me, and I just hit a button. The button records, and I upload it to the internet, and voila, there we go. We got a video. It's really quite easy. The studying I have to do for video is basically the same that I would have to do if I were doing a message. For instance, on the Wednesday nights, I've had to do a more extensive Bible study, so I would spend the same amount of time preparing for Wednesday as I would for an actual prayer meeting that we would have on a Wednesday. So really nothing's changed. These Monday and Friday videos, I've just kind of put something together I thought was pertinent for the time in which we were in, which was different and in addition to what we normally did, but it's been really quite easy. I've enjoyed thinking through it. Some of the videos I've done in the fellowship hall, I've done them in my Sunday school room, the adult 3 room, I've done them in the sanctuary, I've done it in the conference room and various places to try and make a point. But it's been quite easy, so it's been easy for you too. It's been easy just to open your phone. You can do that in your pajamas. You can do it on the sofa. You can do it in the morning. You can do it at night. You can do it when you couldn't sleep. And, you know, any matter of time, you could do it. You could just open it up. So it's really quite easy. And so thank God we have this opportunity during these days to have used this. This had been 10 or 20 years ago. We would have had quite a different situation, as we would not have had the opportunity to communicate in this way. So it's been easy, and I'm thankful we did it. Now let me tell you why we did it, which is the second thing. Video is easy, but connection is essential. What I've learned as a pastor and what I've observed in other churches and throughout our state and nation is that many churches have taken advantage of the ease of video. And so it's telling us through this time, you've got to adapt. Adaptation is important because connection is essential. And so what we have done, as you've probably noticed, is we've streamed our Sunday services prior to getting back 2 weeks ago, and we're even still putting those on the internet, so those are still available. We've done Zoom videos for Sunday school, which will continue for the short term. And then I've had Monday, Wednesday, and Friday videos that we've posted. Why? Wanted you to stay connected. I mean, just take this for what it's worth. Be it a good face or a bad face, I am the face of Bayou Vista Baptist Church. When you see me, you see the church. And so by being able to see me, you've somewhat seen a representation of what we are as a body. And so now that we're back, you're seeing that same representation. So connection's essential, and that's why we've done this. But I also want you to know this: contact is important. Connection through the video has been essential, but we've also kept contact. Phone calls have been done throughout our Sunday school classes. I've made a number of phone calls, dozens of them, over the last several weeks, especially with people that live by themselves and our widows and our senior adults. And then I've contacted my Sunday school class throughout all this period of time, as well as the other teachers doing the same. Our contacts have been across the board in our church. And that was so important because connection is essential through video, but contact is important between the body itself, that we would stay in touch. And that's been wonderful. And so, be it through cell phones, texts, conferencing, whatever, we have stayed in contact. And this season has been good for that. Let me say a fourth thing, though, that I've learned throughout this time where we've been so dependent on video connection. Relationships define the church. And ultimately, this cannot go on forever. You might say we can, yes, but this cannot be our sole means of staying connected, because the church is not a video connected body, it is a physically connected body. If you were to go overseas to third world nations where they have persecution, they go to great lengths to get together physically. I remember a video we watched in church long before the virus about the underground church in China and how they had traveled for hours to come together for a few days of study around the clock. I thought, wow, what great lengths they went to, because they saw the value of the relationship building of being together. Listen to me, we will never be the church solely by video connection. And some of you might say, oh, I like this. Why can't we just keep doing this? I don't have to go to church. I can stay in my PJs and drink my coffee, and I can do church at home, and I don't have to serve anybody, and I don't have to give any money, and we can just do church like this. It's just so easy, but it's not the church. The New Testament church was a body that met. They had eye-to-eye contact. They served each other. They would sweat together. They would bleed together. They would suffer together. And so the relationships of the church cannot be solely continued by video. And so I'm glad we're back, and God willing that we'll proceed forward to Sunday school connecting and getting back to normal activities. Let me say lastly, though, there is no substitute for the gathered church. As you know, 2 weeks back, we went ahead and started meeting on Sundays. And that's been good. We've had an early and a late service so that we could cater to our senior adults. We've had about 60 to 70% of our normal attendance during that time. I was in a video conference earlier today, and during that conference I learned that a lot of our churches are running well below 50% statewide in regathering in the last 2 weeks. So we've done well, and I anticipate that will increase. But there is no substitute for the gathered church. And let me warn you, for those of you that say, I really like this for the last 8 weeks, it's been a no frills, easy connection, low effort type of church. Well, you know what? That's not what we want to be. We do not want to be an easy, low effort church, because an easy, low effort church doesn't reach anybody, because people have to be reached relationally, and that's through the gathered church that loves each other and sees each other as immensely valuable. There is a place for Christian television to reach the unreached, but in the local community, you need to come to the church. Now, some of you, and I get it, you're still anxious related to the virus, and you have concerns about catching it and all that entails. That will pass. And when that does in your life, and when you feel more comfortable, and we continue to see the numbers go down, the hospitalizations, ventilator usage, all of that, the day's going to come where you're going to need to say, courageously, I need to go back. Now, some of you that have major breathing issues, it may be a while for you, but for others, the time's going to come where you say, you know what, it is time. I need to take a step of faith and get back in the physical body of the church. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. I have 3 kids. And my 3 kids no longer live with me. But I want to be physically in the room with them. I remember last Christmas, We thought our oldest son would not be able to be with us for Christmas, but he surprised us. And he drove one night to get home at about 10 o'clock. It was a couple of days before Christmas. And he snuck in the house, and we didn't know he was coming. And when my wife saw him, she broke down crying because this was going to be the first Christmas 2019, where she didn't see all three of her kids physically together in our entire lives. Listen, it's great to have FaceTime, and it's great to have Facebook and YouTube and live streaming. But there's nothing like being in the room together for a family, and there's nothing like being in the room together for the family of God. So there is a season under the heavens for all things, and God makes all things beautiful in His time. And it is most beautiful when the body can come back together. So it's been good to do these for you. I hope they have helped you, encouraged you. I will be back here, God willing, on Sunday for 9 a.m. and 11 o'clock services. Hope that you'll be part of that. And then next Wednesday, June the 3rd, we'll get back to our Wednesday night format of kids' activities, youth activities, and adults in the sanctuary. We will observe distancing to make sure everybody's safe. So please do that. And then the next Sunday, June the 7th, we'll be back to Sunday night services. So hope that you'll think about that, be a part of it, and look forward to joining us again as we move to a new season with God's people. God bless you. This has been wonderful for me, but I'd just rather be with you in the same room, looking you in the eye, and look forward to doing that in just a few days. See you then. Bye-bye.